Okay, I totally missed the end credit scene last time, so we're watching it now. Oh, maybe did I miss the whole explanation of the star thing? Greed's just happy to be hearing about himself right now. Oh, that really directly explains it. Body manipulation. You manipulate your body in time. I still don't get it. Unless they're praising me. I need your attention. Yeah, I mean, we're still mortal. Regulus is still very powerful, even if he doesn't know how to fight very well. A little kingdom with little wives for a little king. Oh, the wives. The wives are his horcruxes. He's just like a little doll in a little dollhouse. Little dollhouse, little wives for a little man. No, just kidding. He's a big boy. Big boy with little wives and a little house. ReZero Season 3, Episode 12. I hate how close we're getting to the end here. Oh, that's what he whispered. Let's keep his clothes on, but I get what you're saying, I think. They're still hedging their bets. They're all sitting in neat little rows. Nothing is precious to Regulus. I mean, that's what they're risking. And that's reasonable given the fact that they're actually in danger and have been prisoners and have been at the threat of death as captives. There's just tiers to concerns, right? Like if you fear for your life, hard to think about other things. Make us human again, that's interesting. Right, as opposed to dolls. Yeah, they had to go so hard on this. That could be directly connected to the survival instinct. It's like you just have to form your mind around whatever helps you get through it. I think this actually comes up in Man's Search for Meaning, about the concentration camps, about how some people internalize their role as being helpers to the guards. You're just so geared up in the direction of survival, you have to internalize it as being the thing you're after. I'm not so sure. I mean, that is true, yes. That also is true, yeah. This is not good. This is not good. I feel like there's a more direct way we can explain this. Like, with your help, we can defeat him. This is tough because we're all watching each other and... Okay. That's a courage. It's perfectly possible that in an environment like this, even if all of them hated him, they would all say they loved him because of the feeling of the eyes, the panopticon. But yeah, it's all coming out now. Hate the way he looks, hate the way he talks, hate the way he dresses. How do you really feel, girls? No man either? That was unnecessary, but that's just extra. Just putting that out there. Wow, they really went in. What did Regulus do to them? I'm glad it went this way. But related to the themes of wrath and what makes that kind of group think so dangerous, it wouldn't have surprised me if, even given these opinions, they all pretended they loved him. There's a really bizarre tipping point scenario where no one, or no one but a very small minority, thinks a thing, yet everyone says they think the thing. If there's some feeling that there's a grand consensus and that going against that consensus risks rebuke, and you have all these eyes looking at you in a node, and it just takes one eye for that emotion and reinforcement to ping pong in this style of wrath's emotional transference, then unless you're really convicted, in greater measure than your fear of punishment, you're just going to say what you think you have to say. That also is very ripe fruit for would-be evildoers. It can impose a sort of social watchtower on any dissenters, and one of the tools that comes along with that is that emotional appeal of, if you don't agree, you are some bad thing, some bad category. But for them, it was just overflowing. The hatred was just too severe. They had an opportunity, and wow, did they take it. You know what'd be really funny is if there was one woman one woman in the crowd actually did really love Regulus. Yeah. Completely understandable. And now they're smiling. And they may have never shared this with each other before. They may not have known. I mean, they probably knew and suspected, but they couldn't confirm. Maybe he put his soul in them. Maybe that's why he needs virgin souls. He needs like a blank space to put his soul so that he's soulless. What did you just do to me? Oh, I got a helpful guide. Uh-oh. Is this fan service? Are we fan servicing? Oh, speaking of parasites. There it is. Yeah, that is disgusting. That's oddly disgusting. Imagine how creepy and disgusting that feels as the brides. You got Regulus's parasitic heart inside of you. Ugh. To have that happen from someone you're sickened by, repulsed by, that's terrible. How do we exorcise the heart demons from the women? That also explains partly why he needs a lot of wives. But it's not the only reason. You have to kill a lot of people. There's gotta be another way. We're not murdering all these women. There is no limit. Whoa, don't do it. Whoa. Okay, Subaru. Don't do anything drastic here. But yeah, the hatred goes that deep. No, there is a better way. It's to live. Yeah, this probably won't even solve it. I don't even think you can say he loves himself. Okay, yeah, thank God. That was real precision there. Amazing. It's worth a shot. Can't be any worse. He was right. Damn, he played right to his villain card. Emilia's doing good work right now. Okay. Wow, Emilia's multitasking. Consider this a divorce. Why did you feel like Arnold Schwarzenegger for a second? Isn't that a line from True Lies? Oh no, it's not True Lies. What is it, Total Recall?
We're married.
Consider that a divorce.
Damn, Emilia is Arnold Schwarzenegger confirmed. ReZero starting over as Arnold Schwarzenegger. Spoiler alert for Total Recall. They are now ice. I turned them into popsicles. Again, some bad memories there. His shtick does sort of wear off pretty quickly. It was funny in the beginning, and now it's just like, oh. I mean, they're not dead. Oh, maybe he has multiple families. Like one of those people who has families in different countries? Yeah, doesn't that mean he killed more than half of them? Oh, you took it! Yeah, my life's linked to yours. Well, Emilia is safer now, though, because you can't kill Emilia. God, in a visceral way, that's really disturbing. Did it have to come to this? I don't know. You have another man's parasite living in your body? Whoa. God, this is viscerally disgusting. Like, on an animal level. He's ranting again. He's monologuing again. He's doing his thing. Yeah, no. That's a no. Do you not know? Oh, okay, you just don't really respect Petal Goose. He was very slothful, you might say. Oh! Remember when the wife was talking about no man? Maybe that was some foreshadowing there. You take his heart and then you envy destroy it? I mean, we do have like a inner soul attacking device built in. That's really sweet. Yeah, please put that knife away. Hello, pay attention to me. I'm here. Whoa. This drawing of Subaru's face. This could be some weird revenge for Petal Goose also. Oh, you can just snatch it. Huh. I'm kind of figuring this out as we go. Weird. Petal Goose's revenge. Oh, we didn't need to take it. We just needed to crush it. Yeah, that was a big risk. Oh, your shoes got scuffed. I'm gonna let Emilia finish you off. Wow. Accuracy 5. When your character has 1,000 power and 2 accuracy. He's trying to be an anime hero and blow up the moon. This was supposed to be about me. Emilia's just gonna beat on him for a while now. We're just gonna let this happen. We're gonna do it 53 times. Damn! Stop, he's already dead. He's really enjoying this. Yeah, 53. She's jacked. And now we murder. What just happened at the last moment? Wait, no corpse, no death. Those are the rules. It's not fair. Things are going really well for you right now, and that doesn't make any sense because it should be happening to me. He's amazing, yeah, he's a wonder of the world. Has Reinhardt finished falling yet? This would be a great time for him to just land in their vicinity. There's no real consistency, yeah. And it's a lot of it. Interesting, we've changed from hatred to pity. We've seen through it. Oh, we took the opportunity. Oh, I thought we were loading an attack. And that's when Regulus knew he had messed up. He actually made it to the moon? I just bounced off of it. Regulus having a bad day. It should be happening to them. Yeah, you mentioned that. Total hypocrite all the way through. Oh, he's lonely. You leave him alone for a few seconds, he destroys himself. Oh, is this backstory? This sounds like before powers, all for me at any cost. Individuality is a threat. This is their revenge that he's inflicting on himself, catching up to him. This almost feels like a Demon Slayer last second backstory. This is an origin, right? When he was a normal human being, there was one woman he coveted and he felt threatened and so he let go of his humanity. I understand that impulse when you're coveting another person and it's not just liking them, even though that can happen simultaneously, but it's the need you have for what it does for you and what it means for you and the narrative you built around it. But it's insecure. It wasn't something that ever belonged to you in the first place. You can't possess someone else's soul. And the more you try to cling, the more it slips through your fingers because people are not objects. But if it's a possession, it's something that can be stolen. And every sideways glance, every stray word from the person you're attracted to is a threat not only to your relationship now, but to your identity, your life, the fantasy you've concocted to try to give yourself some sort of false sense of value. And so you just want to eliminate the threats, lash out at anyone looking at you, and then build walls or some little box you try to keep them in. There's no real faith or trust possible in this situation because it's not really a mutual exchange, it's just a taking. It's interesting. I think putting the parasitic heart in the other person is a really cool and instinctively resonant metaphor. I think with some relationships, you are trying to live through the other person. You're trying to use them as a vessel for something you want to be or something you want to see in yourself, but aren't willing to or don't know how to become. It's a substitute for your own self-worth. Like if I'm dating somebody beautiful enough and everyone desires them, I'm the one who won and they see how much I've won and they must respect me and I'm better than them because of what I've accomplished. This is what everyone wants and I have it and they don't have it. They look with envy at the partner that I have. There is a parasitic element to it. But then of course there's the paranoia because if that's what it is, everybody wants to steal what I have. And if I were to lose this, I would become as worthless as they are. I am higher and I like this position. I like thinking of myself as higher than other people. I don't have to do anything. I just am higher because I have the most coveted possession. I will do whatever it takes to hold on to this. I will kill for it. I will lie. I will manipulate. And I will eliminate all threats and remove all reminders of how weak and fragile I actually am. And then you inevitably lose it. And then because you're in that state and because you've been that person, the next person, the person who's stolen your prized possession, has taken the position that you once occupied that you enjoyed so much. And now they're laughing at you. They're looking at you with the same sort of scorn you looked at other people with. Because we project our own value sets on other people, if there's this practice of this kind of scheming, calculating, measuring, judging outlook on ourselves and other people, then that just transfers into what we think other people are doing. And so yeah, they're laughing at me. They're both laughing at me together. They're talking about how pathetic I was and how easy I was to manipulate and game and how I was too weak and pathetic to hold on to it. There is absolutely a reckoning for that kind of thinking. And this is a really cool example of like the forgotten side of punishment, which is your own reaping what you sow. It's unseen in others for the most part. We only really see it in ourselves and in media. But I think for most people, that is a big punishment. Well, this is already a subtle shift. He's talking about his own fault, even if it's in the negative. I am riding you now. Damn, how hard did he kick him upwards? Reinhardt asked for the power to ride his enemies. What's the... Oh, he's stopping the heart. That's what it is. He's making himself invincible momentarily. You can't do it for so long, though. That sounded convincing. And look at that, we already made a grave. We saved some time. Now just fill in the hole. Yep, we've met. That was the number 79? How fast can you swim? We're all laughing at you. Like, in reality, there's something funny about this. It's just disgusting and sad. I mean, I am judging him. Pity may be the underlying element of that is so painful. How dare you pity me? I maybe had to acknowledge that there's more greed in me than I want to admit. Aside from the ranting, just thinking about it now, I think pity is like one of the things that stings the most for me. Maybe it's something to think about. Like, I think I'm more okay being hated than like pitied in that sort of pathetic way. What does the sound effect remind me of? After seeing his internal monologue, it feels a lot more real to me, beyond just the exploration of the sin of greed. There is something of a real-life archetype here, I think. That sort of scheming and calculating assessment of worth and value. That scene from Big Short comes to mind where they're having a conversation about financial collapse, and the guy gets competitive and is like, let's put our bank balances on the table and see whose is bigger. It's like, that's not the point. You're playing a very limited and kind of sick game. And also, I think for people who have the relevant life experience, or framing or whatever, it actually has the opposite of its intended effect. It doesn't impress, and it doesn't create a perception of value. It creates a perception of insecurity. You know, it's like the people who go out of their way to remind you of their accomplishments or assets or all the cool things they've done. It's possible to be impressed with those things depending on what they are. And I think also critically depending on what you secretly crave, right? Like if someone tells you they have something you really want, you're more likely to be impressed. But then just for an example comparison, you meet someone and they're really cool and they exhibit all the traits of someone who you would admire for their values and their virtues and their behavior. And then someone tells you, do you know who that person is? They did this, that, and that. It's just so much different. You're like, wow, they did all this stuff, but they don't lead with it. They're humble about it. They're down to earth. They're interested in other people. Those are the people you want to get to know and want to follow and look up to. I think you can get away with this sort of boasting and this kind of like, I'm better than you because I have X thing or have done Y thing for a little while. But generally, I think people catch on kind of quick. And what happens is those people then have to move on to a new group. They kind of wear out their welcome really quickly, which is exactly what happened with Greed. You know, he came in, he was really interesting and funny. And there was something even charismatic about him at first. You know, it felt like he was self-assured, he's powerful, he's competent. By the end, it's just like, you're tired of him. He's disgusting. He's just a sick little man. You find out what he's done. You find out what he's really made of, which is nothing, as they put it, which is another great metaphor. I mean, you actually have no substance. It's just fluff and talk, and the things that you have that maybe would lend itself to respect turn out to be hollow themselves. You know, they were ill-gotten, they were stolen, or you cheated your way there. You took advantage of and abused other people's better nature. You got rich on the back of selling products that led to financial collapse. I imagine that sort of thing would get reinforced and amplified pretty quickly too, because the only people who would want to stay around you or could tolerate you are other people like you who enjoy that sort of game. And so you start to think that's the world and that's how people operate. And so now it's even more of a competition. You need to achieve higher rungs to compete in that world. If you were to meet someone who didn't have that value system, or who perhaps has a better value system, you would sort of have to write them off as being beneath you because you need to escape them and they're threatening to you. And you also need to use that as a defense mechanism because in their opinion, you can't leave fast enough. Yeah, where was it? Regulus Corneas. That was an interesting title card. It's just like a little piece of him. Someone explain this to me, please. You know, he's a specter. He's faded text. He's somewhat hollow. He's not fully filled in. You better believe I'm not missing the end credit scene this time. You are now free. That's a lot of repressed emotions. I mean, you both crushed this. It was cool that they fought side by side, too. I guess it depends what you mean by strong. Yeah, this takes a different kind of strength, too. It's not just physical power. Beautiful. Yeah, he transformed. Garf's alive. That's good. So I'm not convinced that Greed is fully dead, though. I mean, I don't know how he'll escape that. But it doesn't really matter because it felt like the thematic climax for his character, which was so amazing. There's something about the way he was spiraling out of control as he spiraled upwards into the atmosphere that really made it click, not just as sort of an abstraction of a sin, but actually as a framework that I think I know very well from myself in moments and from meeting other people, just in a much more lifelike way. I also love how my experience with Greed and my enjoyment of him exactly mirrored the trajectory of what those relationships are like. Impressive at first, but then leave you with sort of a sick feeling in your stomach. It's never fun to feel like you exist as an object of someone else's gratification. It also is unfortunate because I think the people who are the most likely to fall victim to this are often, to take ReZero's metaphor, the ones with the purest souls, because they're just giving people a benefit of the doubt and they haven't experienced as much of, or don't know as clearly, the potential malevolence of others. You know, they just lead with their empathy and maybe take things at face value. So they meet people who are self-aggrandizing and are manipulators, and, you know, out of the goodness of their heart, they just take it for what it looks like and they're really impressed and they kind of fall into the gravity and they give them a lot. You know, they give them their attention and hopes and dreams and heart and soul. and then they can't quite reconcile it when the cracks start to emerge. And in fact, like some of the wives, though there's the survival element to this as well with them, but nevertheless, the instinct is to go deeper. You know, it must be my fault. I'm not good enough for this person. I love them. I know they're a great person. Why are they pulling back? Did I do something wrong? But really, in those situations, some of the distancing and some of the anger and the lashing out from that person is the fear that they're going to get exposed, because they know, on some level, they know it's hollow, and or they don't really believe or don't know that good things and mutual beneficial relationships can come from goodness, as opposed to like scheming and evaluating and ranking and belittling, posturing, evaluating things based on wealth is one example. My whole identity is my girlfriend is another one. I think this speaks to the importance of a couple things. One is, like I said earlier, the more you have an unmet desire, the more you have an insecurity in a specific area, perhaps the more susceptible you are to being ensnared by these people. If you have tacitly accepted or believe that a man's worth, for example, is determined by his bank account, if you meet someone who is wielding their wallet as a weapon, in some way you've already agreed to the terms of the game. Or if your weakness is beauty, way easier to get ensnared by someone's beauty, I guess, sort of self-evidently. And on the other side, I think it's important to be careful what we affix value to. There are a lot of escapes and false paths because actually obtaining what we genuinely feel is valuable in ourselves is somewhat difficult, because it requires effort and sacrifice and humility. It is often not glamorous. Sometimes you're drinking puddle water in the forest, but there are what feel like more easily available options, like, well, I could just bypass all that because I have her, or I just need to get rich and that will solve my identity problems. But that then, if practiced, even if it's not as severe as greed, it is kind of in that same category of an incorrect scale of value that you're then forced to defend at your own peril. And genuinely, people won't stand for it once they catch on to your game.